Well, Meares, Mo.
Meares.
Playoff weekend here. Your team is in.
I'm so excited.
You're so excited you didn't bring the jersey.
I'm so excited I didn't throw up during the game the other night because it was a nail biter.
It was a nail biter.
It was not fun.
There was a lot of good stuff that went on, and there's some people that aren't happy in Pittsburgh.
That's true.
Not just because their team started out 0-4 and they were 8-8 and they think that they have some sort of entitlement to being in the playoffs. There was a lot of rules deficiencies and all that stuff.
Well, for one, they should just Ryan Suckup should be their number one enemy for a while.
Make the kick.
Yeah.
Make the kick.
Exactly.
We're not even talking about it. But we're going to do all 4 games.
Yes.
We're going to skip comments of the week because we just aren't getting them.
No, they're weak.
They're weak this week. So let's get into the 4 games. First game, Wildcard Weekend. Kansas City traveling to Indianapolis. Indianapolis has beaten a lot of good teams this year. Favored by 3 at home.
Yeah, and Indianapolis has been playing well of recent. And I'll tell you what, I did not like the fact that Andy Reid sat as starters in the final game. I'm used to it. I've seen it happen multiple times with the Eagles, so it doesn't surprise me. But I think that's gonna. I mean, they weren't playing great football at the end of the season.
No.
They should have been playing to keep San Diego out of the playoffs. I'll give them credit because their backups played spectacular football against them, but I think the Colts are going to beat down the Chiefs. I think this is a one and done for the Chiefs, even though they had 11 wins. I don't think they're going to go into the playoffs and win. If this was the other way around, where it was at Kansas City, I'd give them a shot. But Indianapolis has played them tough. They've already beaten them once. I think they're going to beat them again. I'll take Indianapolis minus the 3.
It's a tough one to call because Indianapolis has beaten San Francisco, Seattle, Kansas City,
Denver,
and they've thrown some shoes.
Oh,
I mean,
big time.
they've gone
Lost
and
to
just
Miami.
looked terrible. They're still lacking talent. Richardson looks a little bit better.
He's still rough.
A little bit better, but I'm going to have to go with Indianapolis on this one just because it's Andy Reid.
Yes.
And he's overachieving at this point. Every time he overachieves, he falls short. I don't think he's going to be able to get to Denver or New England in order to really get blown out. I see Indianapolis last-minute field goal by Adam Vinatieri.
Nice.
Saturday night, the big game for you, against all odds. The Eagles in the playoffs. I don't know if it's all the odds or whatever, but New Orleans is traveling, terrible road team. Eagles actually favored by 3 on the betting lines.
Yeah, this is gravy for me. This is gravy on top of the season. Didn't expect them to make the playoffs. Now that they're there, who knows what happens? It's a new season. Saints, the only thing I got going for me right now is the Saints are a different team on the road than they are at home. If this was in New Orleans, I wouldn't even give the Eagles a chance. I still think Drew Brees is going to carve up this secondary. I'm worried about the game, but I'm not going to pick against the Eagles. I will say they find a way to win. Maybe Deshaun Jackson returns a punt. Something crazy happens in special teams. They get some turnovers. Give me the Eagles minus 3, and I will be a lot drunker this weekend than I was last weekend.
I want to talk about Nick Foles because if you're not going to recognize a season where you have 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, when Tom Brady has 25 touchdowns playing a full season, you're not going to make the Pro Bowl. And the networks that be like fucking gay ESPN are going to sit there and say, I don't trust Nick Foles. That's what everybody on the network's saying. I don't trust him. Well, what the fuck do you have? It's like a wife that never fucked anybody
He's
else.
not marrying our daughter. I don't care if he trusts him or not.
The guy has done nothing wrong except going and won the division.
Right.
Went into Dallas. I don't give a shit if it's Orton or anybody else. It's not easy to go on the road in a game that means everything and play the way he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he only threw for 266 and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, when are we going to recognize that this guy had a great season? And you know what? This is exactly what Tom Brady did the year that he won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So, you know what? Fuck it. Eagles win the Super Bowl, so they win this week. First game Sunday, we'll get into the second half of why Pittsburgh Steelers fans are crying their eyes out. San Diego gets in against more odds than the Eagles.
Yes.
Playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati is 7-point favorite at home.
It's a little crazy considering they haven't won a playoff game since 1990. You know what Cincinnati's happy about, though? They're not playing the Texans for the 3rd consecutive year in the playoffs. Remember, the last 2 years they played the Texans to open up the playoffs.
Yeah, and they lost.
So now they've got San Diego come in with Bitchface Rivers, who...
Bitchface.
He's so hard to look at. The Bengals have won the last 2 weeks with Andy Dalton throwing like 5 or 6 interceptions.
Oh, this week was 4. I was going to get into that.
So he's 6 interceptions.
How are you a 7-point favorite if he's just throwing the ball up for
This game worries
grabs?
me. It's the largest line of the week, and to me, it has the chance for the biggest upset. San Diego has been playing better. They eked out a victory against the backups for the Chiefs. I don't know where to go. All I know here is that the line's too much for me in this game. For a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 23 years, give me the Chargers with the 7 points. I don't know who wins outright, but the Chargers will cover.
I'm going to take the Bengals to win outright, maybe by 1 or 2. What happened last week as far as Steelers fans, because we need to address this, because if I hear one more pussification about why the fuck the Steelers should be in the playoffs, it needs to be addressed. Don't start 0-4. Don't go fucking 8-8.
Correct.
Right, now you got a fucking problem. Oh, you won last week? Fuck you. You lost to the Titans the first week. So shut the fuck up already. Oh, 7 guys were on the right side of the line. Fuck you. Oh, it's forward progress made up and stopped. Don't fucking be in the situation. Correct. Don't be in the situation where you need help. Chargers should be in the playoffs. You know why? Because fuck Pittsburgh Steelers fans. That's all I'm saying. For that reason, fuck the Chargers win. Final game of the week. San Francisco to Green Bay, favored by 3, but Aaron Rodgers is back.
And looking better. He improved as that game went on against Chicago.
I thought so.
Threw a bad interception in the first drive, then I had a tip ball for an interception, which wasn't his fault, and then threw the game-winning pass. I mean...
After escaping the pocket.
Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay are a much better team than Matt Flynn and Green Bay. So, for that reason, I honestly think this is going to be an upset. I think Green Bay is going to win this game outright, and I think they're going to kill them. I mean, it's going to be fucking cold in Green Bay. It's going to be like -4. There's no way San Francisco... And to me, San Francisco is a shell of their former self. Their defense is good, but not as good as it was last year. A.J. Pumpernickel's playing okay, but nowhere near the level he was last year. Frank Gore not running the ball as hard as he did last year. I think this is set up for Green Bay, an 8-7-1 team, to make it to the divisional round.
I agree with you. I think Green Bay is going to make this line go. This is Tuesday that we're doing this, and the line's currently 3.
Correct.
I wouldn't be surprised if that line changes as the weather comes out and if it gets that cold. Because you are coming from California, even though it's San Francisco, it's not the warmest place in San Francisco, but it ain't fucking -20 degrees.
No.
And it's a different team. I want Nick Foles and Matt Flynn to both get credit. Because while Matt Flynn gets brutalized and jumped over by every quarterback behind him, he's got this team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you know what? I agree with you that I think this is going to be an upset special. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out and he's going to prove something to the league in the fact that this team should have been a possible bye team. They should have been a possible 1 seed if he hadn't gotten hurt.
I agree.
So I think, and Eddie Lacy's phenomenal. I mean, they got an incredible running game. The defense, a little bit of a question. Clay Matthews come back. I don't think that makes a big of a difference against San Francisco. I think he can game plan. So give me upset special. So obviously I get Green Bay and plus some points.
Nice.
So that's it for Wildcard Week.
I'm excited. I want the Eagles to win, and I want them to be able to go into Carolina and avenge the horrific loss they had to them
10 years ago
in the NFC Championship game. That still brings me nightmares.
10 years ago.
I know
that happened.
So I hope they can win and go to
brilliant.
Carolina, and we can talk about that next week. I hope so. Make sure you comment.
Yeah, get some comments so we can actually do comments.
Yeah,
it's the first time we skipped all year. I mean,
second time in a row. Second time in a row.
No.
Because you guys are horrible.
Come on.
And you're
step it up.